And we are live with our very first Love's Train podcast with Mr.
Oh yeah.
Michael Cooper.
As they say in my church, whoa yeah.
None other, none other. Okay, Michael. So,
What's happening? What's happening?
ooh,
First time out the shoot, y'all.
man, trying to wrangle you into sitting down for a few minutes is no easy task. So, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back.
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah, there you go.
So, Mike, I have several things, and I think I've talked to you about it. It's all about the Loves Train. When we first originally posted the piece of the unsung video that got this huge response on this website.
Hmm.
And I told you that the comments and questions alone are a reality show. It's hilarious. And we're going to get to that. But before we get to that, I want to go pre 20. When did Bruno and Alex, what's his, whatever his name, when did they do Love's Train? That was 2, 3 years ago.
I was in 2022, and that dude's name is Anderson Pack.
That guy.
Yeah, and yeah, 2022. That was a milestone year, I should say, for ConFunkShun. We have quite a few milestone years.
We ain't
Watch
going there
that.
yet. We ain't
Yeah,
going there yet. We ain't going there yet because
yeah.
something happened before that
Before that,
in 2018.
2018.
And I need every damn body to know that this was Michael Cooper.
2018.
You ready?
I'm ready. If you got something to spring on me, I'm ready.
All right, watch this. Look at that grin.
Yeah.
What was your reaction the very first time you saw that?
Actually, it was so, to me, it was like I saw it, of course, and when I saw it, I couldn't play it back. Whatever I saw it on, I remember was nothing I could run and play it back on. So I don't know if it was television or what have you, right? And I couldn't get anybody to come look at it before it went off, right? So I had to just wait for it to get on YouTube for somebody to post it and for me to see it. But of course, like check time, when the check time came around from the publishing company, then I realized, oh, okay, all right, Beyonce's people on top of things. And of course, man, to have somebody like of that statute, do anything to your song, that is the bomb. But
That's my point.
at the time, I was kind of puzzled because I couldn't share it with anybody when I saw it. I saw it on something that I didn't have control of, and I was blown away.
And
I was like,
technology has changed a lot since 2018 too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what the hell I saw it on, but no, Beyonce strutting to fun. Oh Lord. Mm,
Man, for her
mm.
to open her Coachella with that, and I said, how many people even realize that that's confunction? So I put this together so those who don't know.
Number
That's a
one,
bad
baby.
man right there. That's a bad man right there.
Number one in the nation.
1977. That's what
Number
it's.
one.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, Pearl. I'm in a room right now that, of course, my wife stole from me. When you get out here, you'll see. It used to be my little man cave, and now, of course, I got a bigger room now, higher ceilings, everything's big. Uh, but this was a bedroom. We're a 5-bedroom house, and this was a bedroom. And she took it because it has a pool view, and of course, all the additional AC plugs that I had put in and everything. She's taken advantage of and running her medical billing business. But all my stuff is still up on the wall. All my guitars and all my magazine covers and all the albums and everything's still up on the wall. And
Mhm.
I come in here sometimes and I just like you just asked, isn't that a trip?
Isn't that a trip?
I sit here and go like, man, I think about I saw a clip of George Benson talking about guitars the other day and sitting in his family room talking about all these guitars. And I saw a couple of clips of people doing things from their home. But when you come home off the road and you walk through the door and you don't know what you have just done until you finally kick your shoes off and you sit down in the middle of all your paraphernalia. And you think about the stage and the city that you just left. You just left. Like in my case, it was Cleveland, Ohio. We just left Cleveland about a week and a half ago. And you sit down and you have that 30 seconds where you're either going to laugh, pray, or cry. You sit here and you go 55 damn years in this business. Look at all of this stuff.
And
And,
you know
and
what? I'm glad
yeah,
you mentioned Cleveland because you just helped me with the segue. Okay. The segue being the people who were commenting on the Loves Train clip from Unsung. They had questions about the next phase, the next stage, whatever. So check this out, Mr. Storyteller. You was
mm,
live on this one. Check it out.
We're gonna write a song about $8 million. That's just the way it is. So, girlfriend broke my heart, and I said, baby, we got one thing to talk about now. Listen up. Whatever you did last night, somehow it made it back home. What you do out there need to stay out there. Today I couldn't have got away with nothing, because I got cell phones and you can find you on Facebook, you can't do nothing. So I say, baby, go like this. We say 1, 2, 3. It's late night out on the bay. You finally made it home. 9 o'clock this morning. I've been waiting by the phone. Your makeup's kind of special.
yeah,
And you're looking mighty good present. You said we do some talking.
Here you go. Here you go. Wait for it. Here we go.
Riding the shoes. Hey, bring it back. You don't sleep on the train you're constantly. I see the light. I'm giving up love now, baby.
man,
See, this is what we see. You don't see it because you up there working. You up
man,
there working. But that I think that was in Cleveland. That was like 4 years or more ago.
wow.
And that is the answer to the question because they want to know, well, what happened next? What happened next?
Yeah. ConFunkShun is just a ball of stories. And what we prided ourselves on is when we wrote a song and we got lucky enough that the song we wrote became hits, because obviously all songs are not hits. But we got lucky because we would write something that was true, that really happened,
Mm-hmm.
and then it became a hit. The background vocals that you hear on this song uh, was me and Pebbles, right?
That's where the
And
rumor came from.
yeah, Paris McKissick, me and Pebbles,
Uh-huh.
right? And we were tight at that time, but we were also songwriters, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was doing background vocals, and she was turned out to be quite a songwriter. I mean, really, really good. And of course, the story of Love Train
Yep.
was the girl that me and Felton were both dating.
And they put her name all up in the mix.
Yeah, well, so I don't want to get too deep. I don't know when and where and how this is going to be played and how it's going to be taken. But when you have that kind of pain, when you have that kind of pain, and the people causing you that pain, you remain loving them. You would like to hate because that person caused you pain, but you can't because the person is your brother, right?
Mm.
So you say, well, I'm gonna hate the girl. I'm gonna hate the girl. Well, you can't, okay? Because she was dating him first.
Oh,
You
so
just
you
had,
was a third party.
so I came in later. So you can't expect
Ah,
their feelings to just click off,
I
right?
see.
And it just was insane. It was insane. I mean, when I drove down the street after being told I couldn't be buzzed in, I couldn't be brought up, that no, you got to go away because there's somebody up here.
Look.
I went and got in my fancy Porsche and all this and all that, which I figured, well, I'm recording on this. I got hit records. I drive a Porsche. I'm invincible. I'm invincible. Yeah. I'm rolling down the highway, tears rolling down my face.
Oh, that baby was hurt.
I'm all crying and shit. And it wasn't until I got home and walked. I got home, I went to bed, right? And I got up, yeah, because I couldn't really sleep. I woke up like about 2 or 3 hours later, and I had to walk past my studio, and I looked at the reel-to-reel, the machine. Back then, we had reel-to-reel machine. I looked at the machine, and I walked over to the machine and hit play because it was queued up. You could see all the guys out there on the old studios. They know when you were queued up, you had that white piece of tape that
Yep.
separated the songs, and
I
it
had
was
the real
queued up.
deal.
And I hit play, and the first thing that came on was dun, 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 and it was Felton's track, but with a whole nother set of lyrics. And
Yeah,
so,
you talked about that in the interview. Yeah.
and the last person's voice I wanted to hear at that point was Felton. I I I I pushed the buttons and killed the lyric, I killed the vocal track and played the top of the track again because the reason I even had it is because I had another idea for it. And the first thing came to my mind is it's all night and I couldn't sleep because I'm too hurt and I'm too weak. And
Damn.
that was the beginning of Love Train.
But
The
that's the
next
amazing
morning,
thing about a songwriter is that, some of us, we just know that we hurt, but we can't make it into that, to put those words together. And 50 years later, people are still jamming to it because the thing that's so awesome about it is that it's relatable to so many people. Even in that last clip, the people in the audience were throwing their hands up, testifying and singing along because they could all relate to that. But
mhm.
like I said, you like a damn psychotherapist when you say, I'm leaving you for me.
Oh yeah,
That shit is
oh yeah,
deep. That
oh
shit
yeah.
is deep.
Oh yeah. See, and then and leaving baby obviously was the last straw that broke the back. That was it. In other words, and because this wasn't a one-time incident. This was a very beautiful woman playing the field. You know,
Well, and then
Lot-
the
playing
nature
the
of
field.
the business, we
Yeah,
know we've been on the road. We see what happens out there. We already know.
because
And
men want to have two or three, four, five women, but we don't want y'all having no two or three men.
that
We
part,
like we selfish as hell, two-faced as hell,
that
right?
part.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But we both
when we go,
Scorpios, and this show gonna go deep. We got a whole lot of shit to talk about. We've seen some things, we've done some things. Okay, but okay. I'm
yeah.
going to pull up some of the comments and see if you can see them this time. But I think you answered a lot of the okay. I made a little reel of it so it goes up so you can just see some of the comments. They're hilarious. Watch
Oh,
this.
okay.
About this experience than to write it on his track.
Can you see that?
I can see it. Yes.
Who was the chick? Find the girl.
Well, the girl is easy to find. You know, she was in the ministry for a minute, and she's very beautiful, very wonderful. And unfortunately, the last time I saw her was at the funeral for Felton's daughter,
Hmm.
and she was very, very sweet, very beautiful, and hadn't changed a bit. Uh, and let's just say I'll call her Denise right now. Her real name is Denise. I won't give her last name. Uh, but she is the coolest, sweetest, coolest person you ever want to meet in your life. And you know, used to joke with me all the time. Okay, where's my royalty check?
I know that's right. I wouldn't
When
be
do I
joking.
get
I'd
a
be
check?
sitting on the step
Yeah,
trying to
you know,
remind you. Okay,
yeah.
here we go. Here's some more. Watch this. Okay. Child, these women had the boys turning hurt into hits. I love that. Reasons. Me and Mrs. Jones are now Love's Train. The backstories behind these songs are epic.
Yes,
I
yeah.
love the comments. Love it. I can
Well,
still,
it
yes.
it's I see a mention here of Unsung because I told a story. And at the time we did Unsung, it was just at the time we was feeling good to tell these stories, right?
Mhm.
And I remember doing Montel Jordan's TV show. Montel had a TV show briefly down in LA. And I remember sitting on the show, and of course, Montel is doing exactly what you're doing. Everybody wanted to know the story behind Love Train. Well, of course, I'm sitting right next to Felton, right?
Ooh.
And that was the first time him and I had ever been in a public forum where we literally had to answer the question, be truthful about the question, and really not be uncomfortable about it. Because I remember on the TV show, I remember mentioning that how much I had loved him. So this was just something that was going to pass because I ain't, me and my brother gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna be writing hits until the cows come home. We ain't
Okay.
gonna have no woman stand in the way of our march and of our trip up the ladder. So we just we kind of let it pass. It was very uncomfortable for a while. For about a year, it was real uncomfortable. But after a while, we could both talk about it. It was no big deal.
I think you probably got the better end of that deal anyway, the way things ended up turning out. I don't know if you want to talk about that or not, but back to the comments. Here we go. No one answers till 2 o'clock. One of the greatest songs ever made. Backstory is excellent. I'm telling you, these people love it. And then
Yeah,
these guys, I don't know if you remember these guys. They said, oh, let's quit it. It said they remember when Michael Cooper went solo and two buddies from a TV show, they were your backup dancers, but they didn't leave a name. They had a different kind of.
that group was called 3 a.m.
Okay. Okay.
3 a.m.
Okay. So yeah, I'm loving these comments. Like that was why I said we have got to do a Love's Train podcast because these relationship issues they never stop. So the whole story, as we know, what 50 years later, people still and when you think that everybody knows the story, they really don't because you've had through Bruno and them, your music was introduced to a whole nother generation. It's
Hmm.
like there's our generation, then there's our kids, and then there's our grandkids.
Yes,
And
yeah,
that's the Bruno generation.
yeah.
So for your music to last for 3 generations, that's just crazy.
Crazy is not the word. My grandson, who just turned 30, 31, has now he has two kids. And I remember him coming into my studio one day, and I had the studio, my studio in the other room is big enough to have a pool table. So
Mhm.
I had gotten for my birthday uh, a a birthday present that I opened it up and it turned out to be a turntable with USB ports and all kinds of things
Mhm.
out the side. But this was literally a turntable. And he walked in the room. He said, Dee, what is that? And I looked at him. I said, Dee, what is that? He said, what is that? I said, it's a turntable. He said, I mean, well, what does it do?
What does it do?
And I went out. I said, Jermaine, you don't know what this is? And you never played a record? Yeah, I've seen records. He said, but I don't have any. So I went out to the garage and I bought back a couple of albums and I put it on. And then this one happened to have its own speakers in the side.
Mhm.
And the look on his face was of a person seeing something that was new.
Yeah.
And I had to explain to him, I say, man, do you know this goes back to the 40s, way back.
They don't have any idea.
So I told him, I said, well, listen, when you get a minute, just sit down on your phone and look up RCA Victor Victrola and just start reading, and you'll see how the record player came about.
Mhm.
And it's to me, to have been blessed and long enough to live that long, to see the expression on his face, and to actually me knowing that I used to stack encyclopedias up to stand on them at 2 and 3 years old, so I could lift the needle up and put it on the record.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
When
That's true.
I used to do that. When my dad was a garbage man, and I had to get up. When he got up, I got up, right? Because I knew he would learn the radio on so he could hear the news. And when he got up, I had figured out how to get up, right, and click the knob back to phonograph and put the needle in, and then whatever was up there, I just wanted to hear it.
And look at the effect it had on you.
Oh man,
I have a grandson story too. The first time he saw an LP, he said, "That's the biggest CD I've ever seen."
yeah, yeah,
He was the CD generation.
yeah, yeah,
Had
yeah.
no idea.
Yep.
Well, Mike, this has been fun. This has been fun. And we're going to do this every Sunday. We're going to
Mhm.
talk about the music. We're going to talk about Love's Train. We're going to talk about relationships and what have you. But when and if you are not available, I will do it without you with a different co host because Love's Train podcast, we doing this.
We doing this, y'all. We doing this. And every now and then, I don't have a calendar where it's showing me all my dates. Every now and then, I'll be in the plane when you start this show. I'll be coming from a gig on Saturday. Most 90% of all our gigs are on Saturday. So every now and then, I'll be changing planes or I'll be in the air when the podcast hits. But if my watch out, Mike, watch your mouth. When my butt touches down on the ground, I will be joining in from wherever I am. Whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, be it airport, standing in the checkout line, standing wherever I am, right? If I got to pull over in the car, we're going to do this.
We are going to do this. And because we're flexible, we can just, we can be flexible. We don't have to be inconvenienced by it because I send you the link, you pick up your phone, boom, this is what we doing.
You'd have laughed at me when I was setting this up. I got Alexa sitting right here next to me. And this song came on my brain. I was humming it and I was wondering, why am I humming this song? And the bass player that's playing on the song, I remember seeing someone else with his name, Gary Johnson. And he passed, bless his heart, he passed away in a car accident. But he's playing on a ConFunkShun song called Ladies Wow. Ladies Wow, I believe we're doing it on Soul Train. You might be able to look in Soul Train and you'll see it was actually released as a single, but it didn't do as well as another song that we performed. And turned out to me, Ladies Wow, it wasn't a hit. It's probably one of the funkiest tracks ConFunkShun has ever done. Right?
Really?
Oh man, there's got to be enough, of course, fun, shake and dance. I mean, these are hits and they were styled to be hits. They were styled after the radio. They were pointed at the radio. Ladies Wow was just a riff put together by myself and Gary that needed some lyrics, right? And I remember meeting a girl and going through this whole quickie relationship very fast. You meet somebody, you get all intimate, you talk for a couple of weeks, and you never see them again. And I remember it was all based on a meeting at a club where the DJ was banging, right? He was just banging. And she was one of those people that couldn't stop talking. She was excited about everything. I remember that. And I had this thing in my brain. I said, man, she is wild, you know? And then I went home and wrote this song, Ladies Wow.
Another one of those.
Yeah. And it's literally stepping out on Backstreet with my lover, feeling like I'm full of fancy fire. You make me want to holler when the backbeat hits my shoulders. These lyrics I thought of as I walked in the club.
That's so crazy.
I'm like, how the hell am I find something to write this down? I need to write. I ain't got no pen. So ConFunkShun has a lot of stuff to talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Song, her song.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do it right here on the Loves Train podcast. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us. Mike, we'll see you next week.
Love you, love you.
Love you back.